solid part, but there's a deck hockey court out there that was installed by Sport Court. That court there cost approximately, this was done about 6 years ago, that court cost approximately $30,000, and it's a tile court, and it's a snap in place, and it simulates what a natural ice hockey court would do. If you were to turn your wheels sideways, you would slide on that thing, and you can do power slides and everything that you would normally do on a regular surface. And that court was put down by Sport Court. It's on a CoStar's contract. So some of this is the stuff that I'm looking into. It's going to take some time in gathering all the numbers up. But I've got a good start on it so far.
I think the other thing that was on that list, and I hate to borrow the preamble from Cindy, but correct me if I'm wrong.
You're good at the part.
I know by
Hey,
heart.
you better be nicer. I'm going to get my tapping pen again.
Bill, in Hill Station, there was a discussion that a pavilion was needed there. Now, our park is looking beautiful here, it truly is. And I know
Can't
there's
hear
a
you.
lot more that we can do. There's a lot more that we can do with this park, but there are other parks that need it in addition to this. And that's all I'd like to see, is to look at Hendersonville and Hill Station and see what we can do in those two parks. It doesn't have to be everything, not all at once.
Why not? We can just budget $1 million and fix it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we haven't put up the Miners Pavilion yet. We can put the Miners Pavilion over in Henderson, over in
I
Lawrence.
wish that I had realized that there was none at Lawrence, because I would have suggested that we put it there.
Can we move it?
Not now. We're agreeing here now. The Miners Pavilion will be built the first 2 weekends of September. Money is all available. We're waiting for the workers. The first 2 weekends of September is what's planned for now. I don't know that we're going to be able to put the pavilion, the benches in. That's the only way. We have not budgeted for the picnic tables or whatever they are. That's the only thing that we haven't budgeted for. But by the time it's finished, it will be the end of September or close to it. So we probably won't be needing until next year the picnic benches.
Okay, and while you have the floor, next item was the Supervisor Binder in Dawn's office. You had mentioned something in regards to the monthly tasks. Have you addressed that? Or see that we have a consensus with the board that Dawn is to job descriptions, ties into the job descriptions. Would you like to elaborate on that, Dawn?
She's looking like she has no idea what you're talking about.
All right. It was the things that are done monthly,
Expenses and
expenses or
$30,000 programs that we got. I talked to you about those today.
so.
Is that what you're
It
talking
sounds
about?
as though the issue was what things are done. If a bus was to get an employee, that we would know that this is done, these reports have to be done on the 15th or the first of the month.
Oh, right.
Is that what you would like?
Yeah, for each of the employees here in the, can you hear me?
No.
Okay, for each of the employees here in the township, in the building for certain, to let us know in writing, not just what their job duties are, but what they do on a regular basis. So if one of them were to quit, become sick, have a baby, be fired, whatever it happens to be, that somebody could step into their shoes and be able to function. That was what I had asked probably 3.5 years ago.
Well, it's just asking, we're
Yeah.
just going to have to request that for the binder that's in your office. It's undoable.
Sure.
Okay, so are we in consensus? You guys would like to see that? Have an agreement? Frank, you okay? No? Okay. Whole business.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Forgot.
I was going to go on the original. Yeah. Coleman Stormwater Project, the updates.
I gave you an update to one of my engineers' report.
Very well. maybe an update
That was
from
during,
Chris.
that was during Chris's report as well.
We got it. Chris, an ordinance creation summary, procedure and language, something in regards to the rumble strips. You got that email, could you summarize it to the supervisors and the constituents?
Yeah, after last month, I forwarded the supervisors the PennDOT guidance with respect to establishing speed humps in residential neighborhoods and on township roads. Essentially, they are permitted under Pennsylvania law, but speed bumps, the more narrow and steeper ones are not. So it needs to be a more gradual hump to slow people down. Before implementing any locations, they recommend that you do a study and that they're only appropriate in areas that have an average daily volume of 1,000 vehicles per day, and that you also conduct a neighborhood survey and get the approval of at least 50 to 70% of the neighborhood before installing a speed hump. Another thing that they recommend, and I believe Dan has some firsthand experience in this, is that because a lot of neighborhoods may want these, that the board of supervisors may want to consider establishing an advisory board, more or less the equivalent of a planning commission, to hold the initial hearings, gather the information, set procedures for what requirements you need to make in order to get a speed hump for a specific street or in a specific location. And Dan, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I think you have you and your gateway engineers have some firsthand experience with guiding municipalities through this process.
Sure. I mean, the establishment of traffic committees or traffic boards is something that's more commonplace as communities grow and the needs for traffic are there, so that not everybody's in the township to the board of supervisors addressing a stop sign or a speed hump or something you want. That's something you can consider. I don't know that the township receives that volume of requests at this point. I don't think the calls that you guys take, but it is something that you can consider. If somebody has a request, you can deflect it to that board, and then they come back to you with recommendations to proceed ahead of whether to do something or not. I mean, it's ultimately your call, but you have a board that can give you a recommendation like a planning commission.
And then what?
Then you make a decision whether you implement it or not. You know.
Or you set up an ordinance
It still
or...
has to come before the board.
Well, for instance, if there was a recommendation by a traffic board to install speed humps, you would take the recommendation and you would ratify it or approve it. You know, but you wouldn't go through the painstaking effort of listening to all the people come in, establish the policy to have that speed hump, you know, how you're going to deal with them and on a regular basis, because as soon as you do it for one, then everybody wants it, so you need a policy. So I know of a couple of communities that have traffic boards. I know Ross Township just started one about a year ago to start dealing with these same types of issues. And they meet on an as-needed basis. It's not every month, but as issues come available. So Mike Haberman in our office represents those. He's a traffic engineer, and I can have him at least get you some information if you know what these other places have done if you're interested.
I just think we need to do something. I don't know about the rest of the board members, but there's a lot of hell being raised over in apartment homes over the speeding here.
John, do you hear the calls coming in, or are you aware of it?
No.
No.
Only one was the resident that appeared at our meeting.
A couple of times.
Same resident, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I do get complaints about them too. Although I'm not sure we rise to the level of a committee.
Yeah, it's your call.
I don't know, I have to think about that.
Of course, there are very specific guidelines that PennDOT recommends we follow, right?
True, correct. And I will
One
forward-
of them is 1,080
Yes.
average daily traffic count.
Yes.
I think you would be hard pressed to find any of these roads, residential roads, with more than 1,000 trips a day.
But and even in Timber Run, for example, Dan, after a huge long study, there was one location that a speed hump could do.
That's
So is
correct.
it really worth forming a committee when you go through the process and find out there's, regardless of what the committee says, there's one place to put it?
I agree with you. I guess as the township grows, that might be something you work into. But if the board wants to take on the policy side of things, we can help you come up with criteria for a policy, and that way the manager can implement it, and staff can review stuff, and only things that rise to the occasion come before the board.
But
That's good.
do we have, like he's saying, there's certain PennDOT requirements. Is there a need to write a policy when it's really already requirements set by PennDOT?
Well, the PennDOT creates the standards for which which you have, but you still have people, part of that is a condition of the property owners, like there'd be a step by step. If somebody wants to come in right now, I don't think Don has anything that he can hand to them and say, this is the board's policy. Here's all the PennDOT stuff, we wouldn't redo any of that, but you have to go out and get a petition for, of your street, get at least 75% of the people. Is that the number, Chris?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You need, something that you can hand to somebody if they want to do it.
And as Kathy Clifford said, some areas that the township that don't require them, aren't going to have them, they don't have to pay for them in the plans. So her suggestion was the plans, one of the plans, the association could get up a standard, but if they want to put them in, they have to put them into our standards. And we would permit them to put them wherever they want them, at least the standards. I think that was the opposing point, to just having somebody come up and say they want one in their street. I mean, if you say yes to that first one, then if we get an onslaught, at some point, we just can't keep doing it ourselves.
I don't think it's a bad idea that we start looking at language of an ordinance, or just some different rules where we investigate through the engineering what's done in other communities and how they handle it. So if it is, the onus put back on the community to see if they have 75% participation. They may have to split the cost of the speed humps with the association, or let's see what it looks like. Let's start there. Do you agree?
Put it on the residents.
Pardon me?
Put it on the residents of Liberty, whether they want to.
Let's look at different ideas that are already out there, and that may be something that we had.
But you know what? Like somebody brought up at the last meeting, speeding just isn't in the housing plans. I mean, Corner Road, Wilson Avenue, Winnie Road. I mean, if we're going to pay half and the associations are going to pay half, what happens when Mrs. Zolbeck made a comment, even on use, on those Maple Street, and they do it there too. They don't have an HOA fee to pay for half.
Correct.
So
We'll look and see how it's set up elsewhere, and state roads and other roads, I guess that falls on our police department to make them aware.
because like, I'm thinking like Winnie Road, yeah, they speed that road, but there's not a lot of houses, Hey, I grew up on Wilson Avenue. I was taught not to play on the road.
Right.
And even now today, if my mother's 86 years old and is down to get her mail, she has to watch her back. Because they'd as soon run her over as they would let her put her walker on that road.
May I address the next item, old business,